Hello, welcome back to another edition of Junkyard Hack. Every once in a while, while you're doing a project, sometimes you feel a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of work you have to do and how long it's going to take, and whether it's above your skill set and things of that nature. And when I got this car, it was rough looking, but it wasn't really that hard because most of the components were there already. As long as all the mechanical components are there, it sets you up for an easy success. So you know what you're working with and everything like that. So basically, it was a lot of cosmetic stuff after I got the engine unstuck. Once you know and you've replaced all the systems, everything else is pretty easy. But when I got this last year, I did not realize what was missing. Now, came out of a junkyard, and this was driven by a family, and it sat in the family's yard, so nobody had a chance to rob any parts off of it. It just was in a deplorable state, sunken in the ground, and so on and so forth. But there was everything that was supposed to be there was still there. Now, this was in a junkyard in Texas, which is, because it was in Texas, it was a good thing because there was minimal rust, especially for cars of this year. They're prone to rust in a lot of areas and what have you, these 59, 60s and what have you. So, but my point being is, sometimes you get overwhelmed with the amount of work, and you got to keep yourself focused. And one of the ways to keep yourself on the project is to just stop and do something small to improve it. So what I've been doing all week long, just a little bit at a time, all week after work, has been wiring up turn signals. Now, as you can see in there, I still got a spaghetti all over the place. I have to get some wire ties and clean it up and everything like that. Also, I have heat shrink connectors that I have to heat shrink, and you just basically button it up and finish it up. But it's all wired up. So this car had new turn signals. The turn signal switch in the steering wheel was basically dust from age. It just disintegrated, so it's useless. And a lot of things run through the turn signals, like the brake lights and so forth. So because the turn signal switch is pretty much unobtainium for this car, I decided to, instead of spending way too much money for the original factory part, I decided to get an aftermarket part of a Chinesium brand, I guess you would say, turn signal switch. Now, very easy diagram to wire it in. Comes with instructions and what have you, and even somebody dumb as me can wire it in, and I did it and wired it in. So let's check this out. And that's a good thing when you do a little project like that. Okay, we're all buttoned up here, so we're ready to go. Let's give her a test. I say give her a test, I tested it already off camera. Okay, we're gonna go left turn signals. You can hear that clicking, that's the flasher. And we have a left turn signal in the back. We have a left turn signal in the front. Just FYI, these turn signal lights in the front, this car was completely missing the valance, and the valance contained the turn signal lights from the front. And so what I did was I had extra front turn signal lights from the Galaxy. Yep, there they go. They are working. And beautiful. All the turn signals are working now. Great. Let's turn the lights on and see the signals with the turn signal with the lights on. Actually, let's go with the flashers. So this comes with flashers. There we go. I have to get a hose clamp and clamp that switch down to the steering column. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but the flashes are working too. So lights are on, flashes are working, and I'm happy. Things like this is what keeps me motivated to keep on working on this car. All you need to do is do a little some little project or something like that. You know, it's not too difficult. You finish that and you have a sense of accomplishment, and it helps you keep moving on the car. And there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery, save the battery up, and as you can see right there, that wire nut. What I'm going to do there eventually is I got to go get a fuse. That provides a lot of hot connections to the inside, to the cab, or the under dash. So what I'm going to do is I want to get a inline fuse for that, and then wire that up with a fuse. Replace the little short wire with a fuse, and we'll go with that. But for now, it's good for a test. So anyway, that's my video. Ending off just a little project. Finished off. Worked about an hour a day each day wiring up something. Just did basically started off with wiring the rears. And what I did was also too, I ran all new wire. I didn't wire into the old wire. I used as little as the old wires as possible. I ran completely new wires. The old wire is very brittle and what have you. Let me turn these lights off. There we go. Anyway, that's it for the video today. Not too much covered. Kind of boring, but it is what it is. So when you have a car project and you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, just do something small, even if it's just painting something or a little body work or something like that. Make something look good. Put some tires and wheels on it. That always helps out a project. You throw some really decent tires and wheels on it, and it makes it great. You know, I was having a situation like that, so I got a set of hubcaps, a lot of dog dishes, and you know, the correct dog dishes for the thing. Now I got the dog dishes. So anyway, let's end the video here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for disliking. Anything that you, any kind of constructive criticism, I'm up for. So we're going to end with that. Nice shot of the Biscayne, and call it for a night. Have a good weekend and happy Easter.